I got interested in Zebulon Pike when I worked with the Colorado Springs Pioneers Museum staff during the 200th anniversary of Zebulon Pike's trek across the Louisiana Purchase. And I'll be presenting a lesson built around the journal of his expedition. So this is a down and dirty first lesson plan, basically, 5 minutes. While he was on that trip, he celebrated his birthday on January 5th, 1807. It was, to paraphrase him, the worst birthday ever. Of course, the lesson focuses on information literacy. And I'm doing this lesson right now with 4th graders, so we're bringing it down to the Colorado State standards in 4th grade right now. But it can grow and grow and grow, and it might be really fun to do it with older kids, although I'm having a blast with the 4th graders. So while Lewis and Clark were exploring the northern part of the Louisiana Purchase, Pike was moving along the southern part. He published his journals in 1810, before Lewis and Clark. He scooped them. Sorry if you're a fan of Lewis and Clark. I'm a fan of Pike. I used the electronic copy of his published journals from the Wisconsin Historical Society's American Journeys collection. If you didn't hear me, that's the American Journeys collection. Here's the lesson framework, and I'll take you through this step by step. I'll just give you a chance to read a little bit of that. Although information literacy skills include locating information online, the gist of this lesson is to practice reading primary sources. Remember, it's 4th grade, so they need to really get in and practice those. So what I do, instead of having them locate the information themselves, which is a little bit above their heads right now, I just put the links on the library website. I'll share the URL with you later. So to introduce a primary source, I get really, really personal because a lot of them don't know. The first time I asked what was a primary source, several kids said the first source you look at. So, I'm trying to make it real to them. And so the first thing I do is I look up my grandfather in the 1920 U.S. Census. And I tell them that my grandfather lived in Colorado Springs, and now because of this primary source, I know where he lived, I know what his native language was, I know he couldn't read, and so that kind of gives them an idea of connecting it. And then I bring it over to Laura Ingalls Wilder, and we connect to a site where you can find her in the census and her family, and then it has excerpts from her journal. And so we read that a little bit, and then they've got it a little bit, farther away from themselves. And then we talk a little bit about what a primary source is. Then we set the stage for Zebulon Pike's winter trek across Colorado. I do this lesson in the winter, and usually right after winter break. So the past couple of weeks have been great for the kids to understand the experience of a winter backpacking trip gone wrong. Pike's men were in summer uniforms, they were starving, they were freezing, and they were lost. So I read them a couple of excerpts to this, I read the students some excerpts. On his birthday, he discovered they were lost. Oh, here. Sorry about that. On his birthday, he discovered, I immediately recognized it to be the outlet of the Arkansas where he was, which we had left nearly 1 month since. This was a great mortification. This was my birthday, and most fervently did I hope never to pass another so miserably. From there, we look at a couple of maps so they can connect the maps. And this map I got off of a site, Pike in Central Colorado. They gave me permission to use it, and it has where he was in Central Colorado on each date, so the kids can connect how long it took the Army to march to each place in the winter in Colorado. So we look at all the little loopies that they do, and we talk about why would they do this loop. He left his men down in the Pueblo area and just took a short trip up with a few men to try to climb Pikes Peak. He didn't succeed. They were in waist-deep snow. And then they went back down to Pueblo, and then they did another loop, and that was him getting lost, going from Canyon City all the way up to Fairplay, and another loop over there. And then he recognized the Royal Gorge again. That was his clue on his birthday. The kids then split up into groups, and I give them vocabulary words, and they have to investigate these 19 or 1,800 vocabulary words. And then they report back to the rest of the class. Now on to his journals. Here's a screenshot of the site they used to view the journals. They learned how to navigate around in the site, and they practiced doing that. The journals are hundreds and hundreds of pages, so I kind of have to guide them. They have to figure out how to find the date and then how to read the 1800s language, and they really, really have fun at it. It's like, I tell them it's deciphering a code. The students take notes, and they summarize the journal entries, and then they make comments in response to writing prompts. And I'd like to expand it next year. This is the first year I've done this lesson. I'd like to expand it and broaden it later. Here are the resources that I've used. I was very nervous showing credits to a bunch of librarians. And here's my contact information. Thanks.